This is Roger with Wheel Kinetics in Tucson, Arizona. We're selling this truck. It is a 2000 Chevy Silverado 1500. That's a half ton. It's a 4-door extra cab. It's a 5.3 liter V8. It's an LS, which is cloth. It's 2-wheel drive. This truck has 76,650 miles on it, very low miles. It was a theft recovery purchased directly from an insurance company in LA, Los Angeles. It's on a salvage title due to theft, not collision. Basically what happens is the attorneys for the insurance companies don't want to get sued by anybody in the future, so they generally, not all the time, but generally they'll give them a salvage title so that when I sell it to you and you kill yourself in a car wreck, or in this case a truck wreck, there's no implication of warranty. When they say a salvage title, that pretty much means that the car is dead. All right, and so that's why they do it. It's liability. It has nothing to do with the vehicle's condition or anything that's happened to it. It's the lawyers. Of course it's the lawyers. It always is the lawyers. Anyway, there's a little 3-minute animated video on salvage theft that you can click on and watch. It's kind of funny, and it gives a little bit better explanation maybe. But this thing is about as far from being ever wrecked as you could ever get. This is a nice truck. Anyway, we get them here. We do a long inspection, about 2 hours. Driving, wheels up, off and up in the air, and undercarriage, and blah blah blah. And this is what we did. It got a new serpentine belt and air conditioning belt, oil change, water pump, and thermostat. The water pump was leaky, so since we did the water pump, we did the thermostat. Got a new battery, rear brake pads. The front shocks were a little squeaky too. It's such a nice truck, we just kept going, you know, with whatever it needed. Outside driver door handle and cylinder, obviously broken when it was stolen. And the ignition, again, obviously a theft issue. This truck is sweet. And our history with low mile Chevy gas trucks like this is that they're gone real quick. So if we do have an agreed upon deal and you go through the negotiating process, get your deposit in immediately, don't delay. This thing is going to be gone. We just had a 150, or no, actually not 150, it was about 138,000 mile 04 that was a nice truck, but not as nice as this one. And it took about 15 minutes of being online before we had people all over it, and then people asking us if the deal fell through, if we could sell it to them. So that is what's going to happen here. All right, it's got a beautiful set of tires on it. I'm going to take it next for pictures. There will be 60 HD pictures. And there'll be a little device in those HD pictures which will allow you to zoom in on anything you see of interest. And it's pretty much like putting your face a couple inches away from the truck. So cosmetically, there should never be a surprise. And we try to make sure that mechanics are not a surprise either. Boy, this is a clean little truck, isn't it? I don't know what these were. I wonder if anybody can tell me what those are. I'm sure somebody will know. Could use a bed liner. Somebody used it for work. But boy, they sure were nice on the outside of the bed. Usually when they use them for work, they don't look like this. They sure don't have the bed rails look fantastic. The interior looks great. It did have a nice stereo in it. That's the one thing it is missing, is whoever stole the stereo system. They left the cables under the rear seat. And the nice thing is they just unplugged it. They didn't cut the wires in the dash. So whatever you put in there, it will be pretty easy to do. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire this thing up. Yikes. There you go. 76,654 miles. All right, we're gonna look under the hood here real quick. This thing is like in the wrapper. Brand new truck. It is very hard to believe that this thing 2000. New battery, serpentine belt, AC belt, oil change, water pump, thermostat. Rear brake pads. Man, that is amazing. And it's a 4-door extra cab, which is kind of cool. They also had that 3-door deal going on too, so it's nice to see a 4-door here. Let's see what's underneath here. I'll show you on the other side. You can see the cables. We left them there because somebody may be able to use them again. I do have a wheel lock key here. I'll put that in there. I don't want it to make a bunch of noise when we're driving it here in a second. Rattling around, but locks work. This is just a pretty truck. Huh. This would be a good truck for my weekend. Starting right now. Let's see the cables here. We're just leaving that stuff because somebody might be able to use that stuff when they go at it. And the seat is actually in pretty good shape. Bolsters look good. There's a driver window, passenger window. Mirrors, out, in, up, down, up. Try that again. There you go. Out, in, up, down. Close this door. Let's look on the roof real quick. Make sure there's no surprises up here. And there's not. Got the hood from here. Looks good. It does have a tilt wheel. That's up, that's down, that works fine. Man, you don't get much cleaner than this. I'm not sure what was here. It might have been an ashtray, and they removed it because they're not smokers, which is a good thing. Cubby hole there. Center console lid. Get a seatbelt on. Alright, got your toe on and off, see that? Off, on, off, on. Alright, move the seat up a little bit. Let's see what else we got going on here. That would be cruise control right there. Alright, let me turn off the toe, there's that. Air is blowing ice cold. See all the wires? There's the plug. There's some more stuff here, and I saw an antenna cable too, right there. Okay, so you got the plugs, antenna cable, all this stuff. We're just gonna leave it alone. The reason we don't put radios in them is inevitably we'll put a radio in, and then somebody will say, "Oh, you want it back? We have our own," you know. And for $250, you go to Best Buy and get brand new speakers and get it installed while you're at lunch. So it's just stupid for us to get involved in that anymore. All right, if you're gonna drive this thing home, come here and drive it home, which is fine. We have to take it to get a level 3 inspection. If you're gonna come here, you're gonna pay us $200 to do that. All right, the $200 covers, $50 is the price of the level 3 inspection itself, and $150 covers one of my guys getting up at 6 in the morning, getting this truck out of the yard about 7, being first in line, which is huge at motor vehicles for the police to inspect it. That means they have to be there about 7:15, 7:30, and then it can take anywhere from 10 minutes to 10 hours, depending on how busy the cops are doing real police work. Okay, so that's $200, and then there's a restore. Then there's a dock fee of $250, and then there's taxes. Taxes are 2% city sales tax here in Tucson. And plus whatever your state tax rate is. So if you come here from a state with a 7% tax rate, you'll pay 9%. If your state tax rate is 4%, you'll pay 6%. Simply add 2 to your state's tax rate and you'll know what the taxes will be. Then add a $250 dock fee and $200 to restore the title so that you can get plates, temporary plates to drive home with, and you can get insurance because you can't get either on a strict salvage title, okay? If you pay by wire and ship, all you pay is the agreed upon price. I'm going to be quiet for a second here. Wow, this thing is smooth. And this is a 35, so I'm gonna try not to get my first ticket ever here. It's a miracle after doing this for 10 years that a cop hasn't just sat up there and just whacked me. It's gonna happen. Anyway, if you pay by wire and ship, pay the agreed upon price. Once we receive the wire, we'll fill in the title with your name or your company's name and address. We'll notarize it, we'll sign it off to you. We'll scan that into your online file. Then we will mail it to you. The envelope that we mail it in will even be scanned in your online file. Everything that we have, you will have. In the ad, you'll have the pictures with the HD capability to zoom in on them and the zoom in capability. The copy of the title that we have now will be in the ad. Our description, what we've done to it, what we haven't done to it, will be in the ad. Everything that we know is there, okay? Which brings us to the warranty speech. There is no warranty on this truck, okay? So please, 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 this is a hell of a truck, and because they made a zillion of them, and because they were so good, they're very unlikely to have problems based on what I've seen. But that doesn't mean it won't. So you never know. It could show up to you, and the day you get it, it could need an injector, or it could need a window motor, or whatever. If it does, do not call us. All right? Call the parts store, buy a part, and have it put on, or put it on yourself. These are really basic compared to all these diesel trucks. These diesel trucks are a little bit more complicated than this, which makes this one really an easy thing to deal with. I mean, the worst cases are very small percentage of what the worst case is on a diesel. So, but I still need to point out the risk. I mean, if there is risk in buying anything used, this thing is way past miles and years, especially on warranty. The people who built this truck gave it X amount of miles and X amount of years, and that was a long, long time ago, okay? If they could have given it a 30-year warranty, they would have, and they would have sold them for a lot more money, and they would have sold a lot more of them, okay? Basically, they're saying we don't know what's going to happen, and they built it. So we don't know more than them. So there's risk. If you don't want risk, you got to go buy a brand new one. And a brand new one of these, like this, is a lot of money. Probably 40. Somewhere between 35 and 45, I would imagine now. And that's only because it's two-wheel drive. So basically, we just want you to know that when you buy it, you're the owner. If it breaks, get it fixed. Okay? There's no crybabies allowed. If you're a whiner or a complainer, or you don't realize that you're buying a 16-year-old truck, you're going to have a problem with us, because we're not going to babysit people. All right, this is for big boys and big girls. This is a hell of a truck, but like I said, we don't have a crystal ball. We do not know what's going to happen to it tomorrow. We know what we have right now, okay? And it's pretty cool. Honestly, this is going home with me tonight, the more I think about it. I need a truck to move a couple things around at my house, and it's comfortable, and it runs good, and that's that. So I'm doing that. All right, thank you for your time.